Hello, I'm here to talk about some work the National Trust is doing to advance equity in preservation. Specifically, I'd like to talk about a new report we recently released entitled Preserving African American Places, Growing Preservation's Potential as a Path for Equity. This report focuses on preservation in the context of historically African American neighborhoods and seeks to elevate emerging ideas, research, observations, and questions on the issues of equitable development and the practice of preservation. At the heart of this report is a key question. How can preservation be a force for advancing social justice in African American neighborhoods and other communities of color? Our approach to this study involved exploring publicly available research and data and engagement with over 100 state and local partners and stakeholders. As a direct result of this outreach, we developed content to help advance ongoing conversations by offering research in 5 key areas. From offering foundational definitions of key concepts relevant to these discussions, to analyzing the historical context that shaped African American neighborhoods nationwide. We also offer analysis of how African American neighborhoods are continuing to change today and invite readers to consider current barriers to equity within our own practice. And lastly, we share case studies that demonstrate approaches to building equity around the country through preservation. We hope the field will use this report to inform ongoing discussions and support broader protection of more African American places, communities, and heritage. Thank you to the many engaged partners across the country without whom this work would not be possible. And thank you to each of you for partaking in today's discussion. If you haven't already, you can explore these resources on our website at savingplaces.org.
My name is Leslie Canaan, and I am a senior field officer with the National Trust for Historic Preservation. English Avenue, Vine City, Ashview Heights, Atlanta University Center, Washington Park, Just Us Neighbors, and Booker T. Washington are facing the loss of historic buildings and displacement of its most vulnerable residents. These are neighborhoods that produce leaders in education, business, activism, banking, and are home to the Atlanta University Center, the largest collection of historically Black colleges and universities in the country. So why are these neighborhoods lacking in preservation protections? In listening to various neighborhoods, I came to the following understanding. They believe that designation is not needed to tell their story. There is not enough widespread knowledge about the advantages and disadvantages of preservation, but there is plenty of misinformation. While there are people, stories, buildings, and spaces that are important to the neighborhood, there's a sense that no one outside the neighborhood would care. There are barriers of the current designation criteria that often makes neighborhoods most treasured buildings ineligible or non-contributing, and therefore unable to take advantage of the tax credits. If you look at the 2 pictures on your left-hand side, this is St. Mark's AME. It is a building, and it looks like a building, but the lack of a roof makes it a ruin. It has not been a ruin long enough to be eligible under the criteria. This is typical. So what did we want to achieve here? We wanted to help residents partner in work that retains the neighborhood's historic character, diversity, and affordability. We wanted to make recommendations about practices to address challenges in order to achieve the community-generated vision for the future Westside Atlanta. We wanted to increase awareness and support for historic preservation among Westside residents, officials, and other Atlanta communities. So what did the National Trust recommend? On this slide, we have all of the different recommendations that we came up with. But I would note that this work is just beginning. This is just the beginning of the work that we should be doing in communities that are not adequately represented in our preservation work. We have much work still to do in these neighborhoods and hopefully others. I look forward to learning from all of you about the ways we can continue to have more equitable development and preservation. Thank you.